As a member of the esteemed House, I deeply regret my words and actions that occurred at the heat of the moment, and I take full responsibility for how this exchange has impacted on the citizen, Mr. Abuja, his family, and the entire public. I acknowledge that I am human, thus infallible. And in recognizing the significance of the role as a public servant, I am mindful of the weight of my words and actions and how they may have affected those that I represent. Since the incident, Citizen Abuja and I have engaged in alternative dispute resolution methods, and I am pleased to inform this Honorable House that we have reached a respectful and constructive resolution. Additionally, my sincere apologies to the leadership of the House, my honorable colleagues, and the entire National Assembly as a whole for any deficit of goodwill that this particular incident may have caused. I am aware that my actions reflect not only on myself, but also the esteemed institution, the trust that the public places in us. This experience has served as a humbling reminder of the need for restraint and self-control, particularly in challenging situations. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues,
this your personal explanation looks like a lead debate. It's like an essay.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking. Mr. Speaker, am I protected, Mr. Speaker?
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, this experience has been especially disheartening as it stands in the contrast to the positive strides that we have made in my constituency of Aba North and Aba South, particularly in the areas of health, education, and empowerment. Nevertheless, it serves as a teachable moment, Mr. Speaker, for all of us in public office that is held in high standards. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I just want to state once again that I am human. Even though there was things were said, and those things I regret. I apologize to all Nigerians. Regardless of the provocation, there should be no reason why I should react in that form. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians. Let us let what has happened remain in the past, and let us forge forward. Thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to tender this apology, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representing the very good people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, our elders always say that the day we stop learning is the day we die. They also say that we learn from mistakes and not from successes. However, the Parliament is one of the most hated institutions in Nigeria today. We are bashed morning, afternoon, and night, despite the fact that most of us have very noble intentions for the people of Nigeria. We should always be guided and also know that we are not an authority over Nigerians. Nigerians have authority over us. They must be treated with dignity, with respect, and with kindness at all times. So if we imbibe this collectively, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Faleke.
we will begin and continue to launder that heavily battered image, the garments that which we all wear. So accordingly, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case on these few points. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I come under Order 6 because as leader of this House, I also have a responsibility to at all times defend and protect the integrity, credibility of every member.
Leke, please, leader is moving a motion. Ask your visitor to sit down. Leader is moving a motion. That is the majority leader. Let's hear him.
Thank you, sir. As I was saying, I have a responsibility to stand to protect the interests, the integrity, and credibility of every member of this House and our collective image as a House. While it is true that legislatures are not popular anywhere on earth, we have tried in this House, since the Ninth House that I know, and this House in particular, to rebuild our collective image. It is that collective image that individuals lean on to interact with the outside world. It is the way you build your house, you run your house, you manage your house, that outsiders would see and give you respect even before you say a word. In the last few hours since yesterday, I've been inundated with phone calls, text messages of different, how will I put it, intensity about the unfortunate, I would say, conduct of one of our members. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the tendency has been for people, particularly in certain sectors, to say, we expected this. Is it not from the House of Reps? That is not our culture. That is not our standing. That is not our image. It is not our purpose. In this House, we come from different professional backgrounds, from different cultures. And many of us have invested so heavily in building a reputation before we came here. It is that reputation that we brought from the outside that has built the collective strength of the House of Representatives of what it is today. And we all have to be very careful where you go, who we talk to, how we talk to people, how we relate to people. And sometimes you stoop to conquer just to allow peace to reign, not just in your own personal interest, but the interest of the larger body, of the institution. And we have a responsibility to Nigerians to build this institution to where it would, when we hand over to those that will come before us, they will have reasons to be proud of us. Our goal is to hand to them a banner without stain. I want to say that what has been in the news, we all probably already know about it, that our member, Honorable Mascot Ikweche, had an altercation with a hailing cab driver, an Uber driver. It is not my job to begin to analyze the video that we have all seen or to analyze the commentary. But I have a responsibility to say that this House will not sit and accommodate any aberration. In fact, If you look at order 5E, it sets out very clearly how the House should deal with anybody, any sort of infraction, aberration, or misconduct by a member of the House. And I'm on my feet today to plead with my colleagues and Mr. Speaker that this matter is serious enough. It impinges on our collective integrity. It attacks the conscience of the average Nigerian. It derogates on the image and expectations of the public of what we stand for as a House. And we have to demonstrate to that public that brought us here, that voted for us to come in here, that we recognize it, we are pained, we are offended, we are not happy about it, we are not judging the member.
Okay, round up.
You should allow me to plead that we send this matter to the Committee on Ethics and Privileges to give us a report in 1 week.
According to our rules, we cannot act according to what everyone wants us to do. We are guided by our rules, and our rules remains that if at any point we feel that the integrity, the dignity of the Parliament, has been threatened, has been scratched, we investigate through our internal structure in the eyes of principles of natural justice, which is ora partem, which is let both parties be heard, which is fair hearing. That is what we put in our rules. It is not good for us to judge, ahead of time and take rash decision. Therefore, in line with the prayers of the leader of the House, that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ethics and Privilege for him to be heard. His appeal was very emotional, very touching, shows remorse. I was touched hearing it from here, but that is not enough. I know you were touched as well. I know Nigerians watching him have seen a man that is remorseful, but our rules must be complied with. That our rule is that he should go and sit with our Committee on Ethics and Privileges. They will hear him and then report back to the House for us to take a decision. That is the ruling of the House. I'm being guided that the prayer of the leader need to be seconded. I need it to be seconded. Leader, please. Instead of going into suspension like everybody in Nigeria wants us to do, for us to apply our rules and the House rules. Those in support of this say aye. Those against say nay. Those in support that this goes to House Committee on Ethics and Privilege say aye. Those against say nay. Yes, the ayes have it. Matter is hereby referred to Committee on Ethics and Privilege to look at it and get back to us in 2 weeks.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, my name is Architect Lanre Okunla. I represent the wonderful people of Surulere 2 Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, the link between national progress and citizens' health is undeniable. From the thriving workforce of a productive society, healthy people are the cornerstones of nation's success. This understanding is entrenched in the fabrics of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution that governs to actively ensure the adequate medical and health facilities for all of us in person. Mr. Speaker, the limitation of primary health care centers are undeniable. With the growing population, especially in Lagos State and in Orile, the need for federal medical center will be a critical lifeline addressing the gap in a comprehensive and a strategic manner. Mr. Speaker, Orile is a very vibrant, vulnerable heart of Lagos, facing critical health deficits. Each day, residents, including countless accident victims, risk delayed and inadequate care due to the limitations of primary and secondary facilities. Tragically, serious auto accidents occur in Orile when emergency strikes every second counts. Yet, the current system forces victims to go on a long distance, often in a very desperate measures. Lives are being lost due to lack of immediate specialist intervention. Mr. Speaker, the Federal Medical Center of Lagos State is not just a legislative proposal, it's a lifeline. It represents not only a medical facility, but a beacon of hope for my constituents. The Federal Medical Center would only bridge the gap in our local health system. It will offer a robust and effective healthcare system, not just for Surulere, but for Lagos State and in general. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. My respected and honorable colleagues, this motion is on a need to electrify all host communities of the Kashimila multipurpose dam and environs. The House notes that the federal government has completed the hydroelectricity component of the Kashimila multipurpose dam in Taraba State. Also note that the 40 megawatts hydro dam commenced evacuation of energy into the national grid since the year 2019. Concerned that despite feeding the national grid with electricity, host communities of Kashimila multipurpose dam remain in total darkness as they are yet to be connected to the grid. Aware that the host communities include Bibi, Bauru, Birama, Malumshe, Kashimila, Bete, Lufu Joro, Barikilisa, Shibo, all in Takum local government of Taraba State. Also aware that the host communities need to be provided with electricity to give them a sense of belonging and ownership of the national asset and thereby guarantee its protection. House therefore resolved to mandate the Ministry of Power and Rural Electrification Agency to make adequate budgetary provision in the 2025 appropriation to ensure electrification of these host communities. 2, mandate the Committees on Power and Rural Electrification Agency to ensure compliance. I humbly move, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment is to make amendments to add a prayer to this motion. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to add the prayer to urge the Transmission Company of Nigeria and the distribution companies to extend power from the Kashim-Bila Dam to host communities and neighboring communities of Benue State to be supplied light from the Kashim-Bila power station. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
And those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The effect of it when it happens extend up to Bakassi. I will urge that this prayer of motion be extended to Bakassi along the line of that belt, so that they all benefit, because they suffer the consequences when it comes to the consequences. So in terms of benefit, all of us should benefit, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I to this motion. And the second, communicator.
Federal constituency. I'm from the Conference.
and the first state, oil-producing state in northern Nigeria, Kogi State. I rise to move the motion on the need to review the implementation of the Integrated Financial Management System, GIVMIS, and e-procurement in the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The House notes that the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIVMIS, and e-procurement was initiated by the Federal Government of Nigeria and specifically approved by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and National Assembly to streamline public procurement, improve financial management, transparency, and accountability, to curb corruption in ministries, departments, and agencies of government. The House notes also that there have been inefficiencies in the implementation of this policy in relation to the payment of contractors and the functionality of the procurement system. Aware that over 1,500 agencies rely on a few individuals who approve payments to those meant to be paid, a process that is poorly managed to meet the volume of transactions required by those who have attained retirement age and do not have knowledge of technological skills to operate the system. The House also knows aware that each of these agencies oversees and supervises 1,000 projects that requires payment upon completion, thereby creating bureaucratic bottleneck in the payment process. Informed that the contractors who have executed and completed their projects in 2023 and 2024 are yet to be paid for the jobs, a violation of the Public Procurement Act, which stipulates that every project executed be paid within 30 days or 5% interest be charged for every month. The House concerned that the inefficiencies and non-compliance in the payment of contractors by MDAs and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation for executed projects has hindered the ability to commence new projects and has stalled ongoing projects in the country due to financial handicap by the contractors. Worried that the non-compliance with the Public Procurement Act for not paying contractors as at when due will further aggravate and impact negatively on businesses for those operating small and medium-scale enterprises that rely on prompt payments to grow their businesses. Also worried that the non-compliance of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and MDAs in the payment of contractors for executed federal government intervention projects in the country has left contractors struggling to fulfill their financial obligations to workers, bankers, and suppliers. Also worried that the non-compliance of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and MDAs in the payment of contractors for executed federal government, I've taken that paragraph. Further worried that the negligence and inefficiency. Can you go to your prayer since it's already published? Resolves, Mr. Speaker, 1. Urge the federal government to review the implementation of GIVMIS and e-procurement system in order to address the non-compliance by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation with respect to payment of contractors for executed capital projects. And 2, mandate the committees on public procurement, finance and appropriation to investigate the inefficiencies and non-compliance in the payment of contractors by MDAs and the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Public Procurement, Finance and Appropriation. The 12th order of the day is a motion.
Serangwa South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am an Ungbaman from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I wish to make further consultations on this bill, on this motion. I hereby beg to step it down. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ginger.